And we are at long last live. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, happy time zone wherever you might be, and welcome back to the House of Hubris here on twitch.tv/Saracent. Welcome back to Zero Escape. Welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward, now on part 17? Yes. It says it right there on my stream preview. I should be able to read. And, remember what I typed 2 minutes ago, but hey. Sorry we're starting a bit late today. The life, I'll probably run a bit long to compensate for that, as is the way. Hi, Nicholas Stratcher. Been a bit. Cool, forgot to turn that on. Let's click continue so I don't end up running into the thing. Opening cinematic. So, yes, if you were here last time, it was a hell of a thing. We got another character ending, so that's us up to 5. We got Alice's ending, which, I mean, honestly, the ending part of it didn't have that much to do with Alice, but it's the one where Alice told us all her dramatic backstory, so she gets her name put on it. What else? We did a lot of jumping. We got to the kind of what looks like the path to the true ending, where we go and find the bombs and disarm them all, and then each one we get to, Fi goes, cool, do you know the password? If not, go and jump to a timeline where you can find it out. And then you have to actually remember it, which is slightly weird, given that every other time it's just like, and then I just learned something, and it was all good. But hey. Yeah, and we have one escape room left, so, I mean, one would think we're getting towards the end of things, but if anyone remembers the first game, you'll remember how far off the mark my estimations of when it would end were. And frankly, I didn't think this would last 17 episodes in the first place, so here we are. Cool. Let's get into it, shall we? Mr. Flowchart, chart me some flow so I can see where the hell we are. Okay, so we've still got a couple locks over here. We've got this that isn't marked as a lock, but is where we need to know the username as well as the password for the director's computer. And this is where we are, which is we're just hitting the lock of... Before we were like, I know who set the bombs, it was you, to be continued. But now we know it was Dio, because shockingly, the guy who has oozed villain since the first moment we set eyes on him, villain. Who knew? And we're straight in the lair of the murder goose, so clearly that's the vibe we're going for today. Let's get back to it. Wait. Huh? You only need to search one person. What? Why? Because I figured out who did it. I know who did it. The words were out of my mouth before I even realised I was saying them. How can you... There's no way. Yeah. I met Fi's gaze and nodded, then turned away. You'd play any game called The Lair of the Murder Goose. Well, if somebody feels like making a House of Hubris fan game, that's got to be a frontrunner for it. Also, don't do that. Why would you do that? I know who set the bombs. That person. Flashbacks from all over the multiverse. Phoenix Right Point is you, Dio. Come on, what is this? Are you high? Well, we're about to find out, because you have to tell me if I'm high. Sorry, Kay, but could you hold him down? Well. It's on him, I promise. Knock it off, Sigma. You're doing this all backwards. Yes, I was just about to be like, have we done this already? No, we did. We've already done the accusation scene in 2 different timelines. So, this isn't a court. In fact, can we fast forward to where we got to? Yes. Okay, so this is all repeat. Dio's a terrorist, we know this. Tamiyaji absolutely psychs him out. We set the detonator off because, you know, none of us have ever seen a film. And then, yeah, how do we stop the bombs? We need the passwords. None of us know the passwords, but this terrorist does. Okay. And I'll give you one, since I'm such a swell guy. The password for bomb number 2 is... And that's the one we needed, so... God, wouldn't it suck if in 2 timelines he gave you the same one, and you're just like, you couldn't have picked a different one, now it's impossible for us to win. EQDDYRNTK. Please somebody in chat write that down, because it's not going to remember it for me. Thank you. Bomb number 2? But we haven't found that one yet. Don't worry, I have. No? Nah, well, my mistake. It must have slipped my mind. Well, there's nothing you can do anyway. You don't have the input device. I've got that in another timeline as well. Really? It'll be much easier if you all just give up. It's the input device! Oh gosh, I wonder... Where did you put the number 2 bomb? Shoot, you know, I just can't remember. You son of a bitch. Anyway, I think it's time for me to be moving on. Moving on? To where? What? I have to explain everything. To the next world, of course. No, wait! Whip pan that way! I threw myself toward Dio and wrapped my hand around his wrist, slamming it to the floor. He struggled, but I put all my weight on it and kept his arm pinned. Wait, Again, this is just repeating bits of the scene we've seen before, isn't it? Yes. He tries to kill himself. We anesthetize him. And here we are. How much time do we have left? About 20 minutes or so, I think. And how much time until the white door is open? Same. So, what do we do? We put in those passwords and stop the bombs. We searched Dio, but he doesn't have anything that might be the input device. Well, only one thing to do then. That is... we split up and find it. Unless any of you have another suggestion. Dismal silence filled the room. Even though no one spoke, I could see despair on every face. Alright, no point sitting around. Until those things actually go off, we've still got a chance. Sigma, you come with me. Yes, this is all very familiar to how it goes in the... and in the route where we're actually disarming all the bombs. We're gonna have to go look at the number 3 bomb. See if the timer really has started or not. Right. All the rest of you listen up. I want you to take Alice, Quark, and Dio to the Floor B warehouse. What? Why there? Just listen. Worst case scenario, we'll open the white doors and go through them to wherever they go. Maybe we'll get lucky. Understood. We will take them to the Floor B warehouse. Once we've done so, we will begin to search for the input device and the number 2 bomb. Good. Thanks. Okay, we don't have much time left. Now get moving. Sigma, you're with me. If I turned without waiting and headed for the door. Before I could blink, she was gone. I gave everyone else in the infirmary a quick thumbs up and a shaky smile, then hurried after her. And we very much needed this animation so we could see the short hallway we walked down. Seriously, you could have just said, and we went to where the bomb is, and then done that. The light's flashing. I guess the countdown has started. So, what are we gonna do? Without a way to enter the passwords, we're screwed. Right. We'll just have to split up and look for it. I'll look around here, you go check somewhere else. Okay. If we get to T-minus 5 minutes, then we'll meet back in the Floor B warehouse. Got it? I wasn't sure what to say. If we hadn't found it by then, is there really any point in meeting up again? What's with that look? Don't worry. We'll figure it out, I promise. You know what they say? Swimsuits never quit. I'm not even sure what they're going for there. Swimsuits never quit, apparently. What? That's not a thing? And it doesn't make any sense. Besides, why the hell are you cracking jokes right now? Is it really a joke if it's just 3 random words? I'm just, trying to show you that life's still worth living. After all, if you quit now, there goes any possibility of you ever seeing me in a swimsuit. Why? Is it really a joke if it's just 3 random words? Yes, sometimes. Okay. You make a solid point, but... These games pick the worst times to get weirdly horny. Is that because it's all the time? Oh, I see. Well, I admit I am a bit curious. Yeah. Alright, looks like we're on the same page. Now get moving. You don't have time to stand around. Fine. Be careful, alright? I checked the time on my bracelet as I headed out of the crew quarters and into the hallway. I mean, yeah, there's certainly an argument to be made that if you're going to be blown up by an antimatter bomb in less than 20 minutes, then sod it, you may as well. But at the same time, there's the entire rest of the game. It wasn't good news. Damn. Only 15 minutes. I need to hurry. I broke into a run. Just gonna run around aimlessly until something happens. That something might well be death. Before long, I found myself in front of the infirmary. Before long? Yeah, because you were just down the corridor. It's like the next room. All too often, what you're looking for is right in front of you. We'd spent a lot of time in the infirmary, so it seemed kind of fitting somehow that it might have been there all along. This is terrible logic. Or maybe Dio had dropped it there recently. There was no way to know. And in any event, I had to start looking somewhere. Shouldn't assume that the forces arrayed against you will be powered entirely by irony. Luna, you're still here? Yes. The others are taking the people who are asleep to the white doors. I chose to stay here. I thought you might come back. Why? Because the Adam is here. I thought you might want to use it. Question mark?
Isn't that why you're here?
What? What? You know the bit where I said before that I didn't trust Luna? This is only intensifying. I mean, yeah, I want to know what's going on with me. Oh! This is the white liquid route, isn't it? It's driving me nuts. Hell, I feel sick. But this isn't the time for that. Being a robot isn't going to mean a lot if I die anyway.
Oh. Why did you come here then?
Isn't that obvious? I'm trying to find that input thing so we can turn off the bombs. The white liquid route is like the worst yellow brick road. And we're back to lucky I don't have mods or you'd be going on timeout.
Really?
Yes! Why would I lie?
I see. I seem to have made a mistake. I knew you couldn't use the Atom without me. So I stayed behind because I thought I might be able to help. I guess I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
She turned and headed towards the exit. Very, very slowly. Wait. Couldn't just let her leave like that. I sighed. How long would it take?
Not more than 5 minutes or so.
You sure? Only 5 minutes?
Yes.
Seriously, give me this magical medical scanner that will tell you everything that's wrong with you in 5 minutes. That sounds amazing. Okay. Let's do it. Analyze my body. Weird way of phrasing it, but sure. Analyze my body sounds like somebody who is waiting for someone else to turn it into a sex thing just so that they don't get accused of doing it themselves. I lay down on the table. Luna picked up the Atom scanner and began to run it across me, slowly and methodically. If that thing was real, I would also say analyze my body. Well, like, I would... the sentiment would be there, I just wouldn't phrase it like that. In a game with erotic units and gentle points, analyze my body is not the weirdest phrase we've heard. I mean, you're not wrong. In a few minutes, she was finished.
That's it. You can get up now.
I sat up and hopped off the table. The screen was already starting to show my results. So, what does it say? My eyes were glued to her face, looking for any sign of what the answer might be. She studied the readout for several long seconds before replying.
Well...
What was that?
It says you're not a robot.
It's weird that that setting existed, but sure.
You're human.
I let out a breath I hadn't realised I'd been holding. My relief didn't last long.
But your body isn't entirely human.
What?
You're part machine.
I mean, yeah, given that, like, the third secret file we picked up had a whole entry about cybernetic arms that was then never elaborated upon. Do I, and hear me out here, might be a weird question, have a cybernetic arm? Wait, what are you saying?
Look here.
I have 2 cybernetic arms.
The structure of the bones in your arms isn't anything close to human. They're made out of a titanium alloy. On top of that skeleton is artificial biological tissue. It's also called ABT.
Sigma's having a no-bones day here. Or possibly a too-many-bones day.
Your arms are cybernetic.
What? What does that mean?
Cybernetic, it means a mechanical system that interfaces with a biological one. You see all these root-like things around the titanium bones? Those are artificial nerves. They're probably connected to your own nerves, which is how you can move your arms. I imagine they allow you to feel things through your arms too.
What? No, this is ridiculous. I think replacing my arms with robot ones is something I'd remember. And I know they weren't always like this. When I was a kid, I broke my arm and they took an x-ray of it. Flashback to Snake's arm trope from the first game? Yup. Trust me, I've been waiting for that to pay off ever since they mentioned Cybernetic Arms. The doctor told me I had really thick bones and that I must have done something pretty insane to break them. Ah, good old thick bones. I mean, that's not the reason they called you that, Sigma, but close enough. When the hell did this happen? Why did somebody replace my arms? Wait. Okay, let's say you're right and my arms are cybernetic. Wouldn't that mean I don't have to worry about the bracelet going off? Ah, see, this is the key for that other route. Sigma, you're big boned. I have thick bones? No, that's not what I... Thick bones! Yep. Yeah, close enough.
No. Unfortunately, you probably do still have to worry about that.
Why?
The cybernetic arms are made to function just like real arms, which means they interface with the rest of your body. Which means that anything injected into them is spread to the rest of your body.
How do you know that?
I just... do.
That's not an answer!
Yes, you're right. But not everything has an answer.
Okay, is this meant to be Luna is mysterious, don't trust her? Or is this just... the devs couldn't be bothered to write an explanation here? She knows this because of Doctor School. Like, normally I would just assume it was a character choice, but, like, the writing in these games has led me to believe it might be the second thing.
There are some things you just can't explain.
What?
Don't you know how that feels? How did you know about the garden?
Because I can jump between times.
How did you know that Dio planted the bombs?
See above.
I'm sorry, Sigma. I wish we could talk some more, but our time is up.
Time? Yes, there are some things you can't explain. There's no good reason why this should be one of them, but you know, point stands. I pressed the buttons on my bracelet and felt my stomach drop. You said that would take 5 minutes, you absolute liar. What, 1 minute? We've only got a minute left.
Sigma, there's one last thing. I was given very specific instructions.
Okay, no, it is actually a character thing of Luna is shady. Is she a robot? I shuddered. Not because I was scared of what was about to happen. Because I was scared of Luna. She was calm, unnaturally so, like a machine with a human face. Funny metaphor you should use there. We were about to die. How could she be so calm?
Please pay attention. This is very important. You must be sure to remember it.
Remember? I was about to die. How was I supposed to remember anything? See, Kay also had instructions of, when you're all about to die, make sure Sigma remembers this. Everybody in here knows about me time jumping, it would seem.
Should you encounter a two-headed lion devouring the sun, remember GTF DML016.
Chat, you know what to do. There's our login. And then our password is Milkevoli.
With this key, the first gate shall be open to you.
Ah, yes, and they refer to them as the first and second gate. That's just the login and password fields.
There you go. I hope we can meet again someday. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting.
What? Before she could answer. The world exploded into noise and light, and I disappeared along with it. When I came to, I was floating in a field of nothingness. That's not the first one to use that phrasing as the last sentence either, which is interesting, because it's very... And then when I woke up, I was dead, and it's just like... That's not what that means. And we hit credits again. That's ending 6 down. That is presumably Luna's ending. Don't need to watch the credits, and I'm not going to. That's Sigma's ending? Huh? Okay. I guess this is where we learn some stuff about Sigma, but interesting. I assumed Sigma's end would be the end, but no, apparently not. And there he is in a 3D render that you basically never get to see. So, let's go fill in the computer, shall we? Solve the mystery of the two-headed lion. My favourite Agatha Christie book. And fast forward. You always forget that Sigma's hot. I mean, you know, it is easy to forget you're hot if you never see your own face. That sounded like it might be profound, but I don't know if it was. G, T, F, D, M, L, 0, 1, 6. And Milkevoli. Yeah, hacker voice, we're in. Hacker voice, it didn't help. Except for that one bit in the middle where it says canon. Slightly concerning, frankly, if you see a... Oh no, there's some more intelligible bits there. Poked artifacts from the shipwreck will. Captain Kidd was fun. Canon. Okay, so there's pirates involved now, I guess. Come over here. What's wrong? I got in, you didn't say hacker voice. What? Wasn't as good as the original voice actor, but you know. Largest exhibit of... How did you figure out the login? I don't know. I just knew it. What the hell do you mean you just knew it? I just knew it means I just knew it! You gave me the same line when I asked you how you knew my name. Why are you bringing that up? It doesn't have anything to do with this. You sure? 'Cause it might. What? I don't... Look, just forget about that. Come take a look at this. Sure. Fine. Just let me get right on that. Are you out of your damn mind? Tell me what the hell is going on here. Why do you know how to log into this computer? Are you even listening to me? We continued to yell at one another for several more minutes. But no matter what Fi asked me, I could never come up with an answer that satisfied her. Eventually, she seemed to give up. Fine. You still don't make any sense, but I don't think you're lying. Damn right I'm not. And the AB game deadline isn't getting any further away. Alright. Let's see what this thing has for us. Where are we supposed to start? It looks like there's tons of stuff in here. Oh, can you tell me the ID that you put in? What, just so you remember it for future loops? I can try searching for that. Maybe we'll get a hit. I gave what she'd asked for. GTF DML016. Her search returned several files, and after examining them for a moment, Fi opened one. Golem unit details. These product specifications for a golem? Is that... Now, who do we think this golem is? I'm gonna guess Luna? Looks like it. So was GTF DML016 a golem's ID? Don't ask me. You seem to know more about all this than I do. Fine, whatever. Just read the file, maybe it'll make more sense. Let's see here. Hey, called it. Called it. Luna. Yeah. Why is there a picture of Luna in this file? There's something written underneath it. It says, appearance after application of ABT. Luna's shoulders are not that broad. Yeah. ABT. ABT. There's a special artificial biological tissue, what's called ABT. When a golem's all new and shiny, they've got on a nice bit of ABT over that metal skeleton. Makes us look right human, it does. Even feels like real skin, with pores, a little bit of hair, a few pimples, scars and the like. Truth to tell, doubt you'd be able to tell the real from the fake even if it was right in front of you. See? Right in the middle of... And then he died. Except he didn't die, but that body died. I see. Luna was a golem, and DML016 was her product ID. That must have been what GOLM was trying to tell us when he was stopped. But why? Why would Luna be in the game? I don't know how autonomous she really is, but I find it hard to believe she would have come here of her own free will. So you're saying she was sent here by Zero Senior? Probably. Look. At the bottom of the screen it shows her current status. Currently operational. Executing special mission. Think her special mission is to participate in the game? Probably. So why did Zero Senior want a robot as a participant? Think maybe it was to supervise the rest of us? Maybe something unexpected happened, she was supposed to correct it or something? Or, again, just on things the game has told you about and then not offered a lot of follow-up on, it's mentioned Turing tests a couple of times. What if it was some kind of void conf test? Or sure, you could go in that direction instead. Basically the same thing, except you, my friend, watch too many films. A what? It's from an old book. Test to see how human she was. whether or not 8 people would be able to figure out she was a robot. That might almost explain the whole game, actually. Making us solve puzzles and play the AB game. All of those things could have been designed to give us a chance to see our true nature. So it's kind of like the Chinese room. Yeah. Luna is the girl locked in the room. And the 8 of us are the people outside it. Huh. Well, like I always say, it's just a possibility, right? Oh, what matters is if the person next to you does what a human ought. Looks like a person, acts like a person, talks like a person. It's probably a person. When did you figure it out? That she was a golem, I mean. Right now. I didn't know until I saw this stuff. You're lying. When I told you about what happened with GOLM in the pantry, you said something about how this game might be sort of like the Chinese room. I don't know why I said that. Sure. It just felt like it made sense. Yes, so clearly here we are on a loop where she has not yet awoken to her full potential as a time traveler. Like you just knew it. Yeah. Look, forget about that. See Luna's status? Yeah, it says the same thing it did a minute ago. Currently operational, executing special mission. Whoa! Wait, what the hell? Luna's dead. You think robots die? She was only injected with a muscle relaxant. So, not dead, just paralyzed. Did she kill Alice and then inject herself? Possibilities. 10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. Yes, because this is just before the final Ambidex round. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally. Of course! Luna's the one who opened the AB gate. Oh wait, is this the route where everybody was dying? Was this where we sort of got killed with an axe and Dio got lanced and Quarks disappeared and everybody else is dead? Is this that route? I think this is that route. That might not be the only thing she did. Look. What do you mean? What are the last 3 digits of a product ID? 016. And where have we seen that before? Oh, yeah. Who'd written that before they died? Was it Alice? No, it was the old lady. Was it the old lady? No, it was Clover. Oh my god. I'm paying attention, I promise. Yes, because Clover and Tamiyaji were handcuffed to the sink. Where have we seen that before? Okay, it's Clover. No. No, I don't believe it. You're saying it was Luna who handcuffed Clover and Tamiyaji? We should go check her body. You remember where it is? The crew quarters. Of course I remember. No, Luna. Right. Yeah. Why would Luna? Okay, so presumably this is why the other one wasn't the Luna end, because now there's going to be a lot more Luna story.
And I trust him. Five minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
You're not wrong. Ah. let's go. The game hasn't stopped. If we don't vote, we're gonna get penalized. Right, off we go then. Slot the star cards. That's not the usual noise.
Invalid pair detected. Please retry with valid partner.
Oh yeah. Go write this thing. Right. Luna's bracelet. Yeah, with her bracelet, there's 3 in this room. I stepped outside, set Luna's bracelet down, then headed back into the AB room. Yeah, just leave it there, where she totally won't turn up and pick it back up and kill you.
2 minutes remain until polling closes.
Alright, I'll go ahead and hit the start button. You ready? Yeah, go ahead. Wait, Sigma. Huh? Oh hey, who could have seen that coming? Luna. So really the moral of this story is if you see somebody responding to shock by attempting to Hadoken their own face off, they might not be human.
1 minute remains until Amidex's game polling closes.
Wait. What the hell is going on? Why is Luna here? She's probably planning on participating in the game. You mean she's going to take the bracelet and go into one of the other rooms? Yeah. How's she going to vote? Betray. I'm sure of it. Why else would she have come here? If she wanted to vote ally, she could have just waited for the deadline to pass. She's got 7 BP, right? Yeah. Why are you asking, though? Her BP doesn't matter right now. What? Have you totally lost it? She doesn't have her bracelet on. And besides, she's a golem! She isn't trying to get out. Whether she has 9 BP or not doesn't mean anything to her. How do you know? That's supposition is what that is. Then why is she doing this? Isn't that obvious? She wants to keep our BP below 9. Say she defaulted to ally. We could choose whatever we wanted and we'd still get 9 BP. She's here to make sure that doesn't happen.
10 seconds remain until Amidex's game polling closes.
Or maybe she's here so that we can all get 9 and leave together. Almost like this is a game about collective social action.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I trust him. 2, 1.
Gotta do the dick move first.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Luna. Where's Luna? I leapt out of the door and ran toward the AB room I thought she'd entered. But she's gone. Wait, where'd she go? That's odd. We came out the moment the gates opened, almost like she never went in and she was going to default to ally all along, and it was all a test to see whether you wouldn't be faithful stickback humans. And spoilers, we were. There's no way she could have left already. Then there it was. No. She didn't take it? That doesn't make sense. Why would she show up just when we're about to vote? To make us stress and make this very decision. There was no reason for her to come here if she was just going to default.
Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Right, the results. Yeah, let's go have a look. Are we going to see one person do the anime portrait thing? Yes, we are. Everyone else is dead. Oh my god, were we faithless stickbag humans? I think we were.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Wish Sigma got anime portrait time? I mean, yeah, it would be nice. Since Luna didn't vote, she got set to ally automatically. And the other 6 got penalized. Yes, we know, not voting is not an option. We've been over this. 5 of them are dead already, and Quark's bracelet is off. That means all those penalties are meaningless. Yeah. We still don't know why Luna showed up, though. There's no reason to come here just to abstain. I can only guess at her reasons. But I'm sure it was part of some plan. A plan for what? Who knows? So, what do we do now? Whatever Luna's scheming, we still managed to get an IVP. Do you want to leave? No, we can't. We still don't know if Quark's safe. No way am I leaving before we find him. I agree. I hoped you'd say that. So, are you going to stay? Of course. Let's get moving. Oh. Do they have to have exactly 9 to leave? Nope. 9 or more. She spun around and headed for the cyan door. Thank you, Sarah. I followed on her heels. Back to the corpse room. And the infirmary. Also now actually more of a corpse room, I guess. And then the bar. And then the robot bar. / robot corpse room. And then the room of which we do not speak, also latterly the corpse room. And the second warehouse. The room with all the screens and the terrible data security. Two-headed lion room. And the food wardrobe. Okay, don't know why that's what I went for, but it is apparently. Shit. He's not here either. This is the last room. Well, the last room we can get into. This place is so big, them and Quark could just be missing each other. Yep. And we haven't seen Luna either. Yeah. Have I leant on my volume switch, or did everybody just go very quiet? I think I leant on my volume switch. Where the hell did she go? We were standing there, trying to decide what to do next, when we heard a familiar voice echo through the facility.
The number 9 door has been opened.
Oh yeah, because Quark had 10 BP.
It will remain open for 9 seconds.
What? No, that's not possible. What's not possible? She only bit her lip and said nothing. Then, all too soon, it was over. Congrats on the COQL win. Well, thank you very much. It was a hell of a thing. It was a very closely fought season, and, you know, in the end, crowd strong.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the non-re game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
What? What just happened? It's all over now, isn't it? We're stuck here. Forever. We should go back to the Floor A warehouse. I need to know if the door actually opened or not. Well, I mean, it seems odd that the announcer would have said it if they didn't. And also, how would you know? With that, she was off. Oh, I suppose they could try and unlock it, because they have the BP for it. Yeah. With a sigh, I turned to follow. Can't just look at the door and tell if it was opened or not. True. But the projection should tell us. What? Oh, okay. Right, the screen. It's on the screen. Luna and Quark escaped? So it would seem. Why? How? Almost as if on cue, the screen flickered. And Zero Jr. appeared. Been a while. Rabbit buddy.
Well, well, well. Long time no Zero. Remember your old pal Zero?
God, you can't just say Zero like that or I'm going to go off on a 2-hour thing about Animorphs. You can't just drop that on me. And this was the day that this stream became all Animorphs things forever.
You? I'm guessing somebody's hoping for an explanation about what the diddly-o just happened. Because we're such great friends, I've decided to make an exception and descend from on high to give you the 411.
Careful, I'll summon Zach. I mean, yeah, I know, but I was the same even before I knew him.
Aren't you happy?
So... Exquisite timing. No notes. Perfect, perfect. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this will mean nothing whatsoever to you. But that's the way. So, what's this explanation you've got?
Well, let's start with little Quark. He was given an anesthetic that put him to sleep. While he was out, Luna carried him through to the other side of the number 9 door.
Well, yeah, I'd worked that much out. But how did she open the door?
With Quark's bracelet, you silly bunny. It was still in the infirmary, remember? Luna just hopped over there and picked it up.
So I was right. Quark had 9 BP when the second round ended.
Yep.
But didn't he get penalised after the 3rd round? He wasn't wearing his bracelet, you fool.
Yes, he did. But a penalty cannot take away your points, just your life. The needles popped out and so on, but the points stayed the same.
So, Luna took Quark to the door. And since her bracelet was already off, she wouldn't have suffered the penalty. No, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Alright. She's a golem. How did you forget that in the space of like 10 minutes? Alright, I think my tale is through. Okay, cool, you told us basically nothing, but sure. Okay, well I've got some questions for you, buddy. Bah. Not you. Well, good thing you don't have questions for V, that guy's a jerk. Seriously, do we have to just derail everything with very, very bad puns? This isn't the alphabet. You must be feeling pretty good if you're able to joke around like that. I mean, 6 people just died here. It's not really a big deal. On brand, yeah. Fair. That's just how you humans are, after all. So long as you make it, nothing else matters. Yeah, that's because I'm the protagonist, come on. Am I right? No, you're wrong. Don't screw with us. It's cool, it's cool. I know you've got to act tough. I mean, you chose betray. That means you don't trust Luna, right? Figures. She's a golem. She might even be a murderer. That's why you were planning to leave her here and bone out, wasn't it? That's a phrasing. Insert Captain Holt bone gif here. You see? It's all about you. Haven't you thought about how sad you've made Luna? What? Well, looks like my time here is just about all used up. Wait, I still have questions for... No, I won't wait. I don't like waiting. I waited once, and some half-witted reptile got the better of me because of it. After that, I learned to make sure to value my time. The tortoise in the hair. Alrighty then, I'll see you when I see you. Have a nice trader! And then I feel like Zero should have just left by playing just a womp womp clip. For a few long moments, Fi and I just stared at the spot on the wall where Zero had disappeared. Where had Quark been? Who had given him an anesthetic, and why? I mean, Luna, to do that. We had no idea who'd killed everyone, Luna. And Zero Senior's identity, as well as the purpose of the nonary game, remained a mystery. As for our futures... what are we supposed to do now? I mean, I think we're back to using time productively. I hadn't meant to say the words out loud, but there they were. The tortoise won because he kept going even when it looked hopeless. I think we should do the same. Got plenty of time after all. We'll give the dead the closest thing to a funeral we can manage. And when that's done, we'll start looking. Even if I never leave this place, I'll figure out why we were here. I swear. I looked at the fire in her eyes and nodded. If nothing else, at least we had a purpose. Oh, I assumed that'd be a character ending. I was thinking that'd be like Fi's ending. Because we still need Fi's ending, we still need Quark's ending, and we still need Luna's ending. I assumed that would be either Fi... well, any of them, to be honest. Wait, so that means... oh, there's this middle one. Yes, I forgot that there was still that middle branch. So yes, all the remaining branches must be towards the character ending. See, told you we were hitting endgame here. If Dio has a dead man switch on his bombs, why haven't they gone off when he's died in other timelines? It's not a dead man switch per se, it is set to distance. The bombs are in all the timelines, but the dead man switch goes off when the bomb is more than a meter away from him. If nobody takes his jacket off when he's dead, whatever. Anyway, let's go back to that game and not pick the dick move, shall we? And a fast forward. There's so much info in these games, right? And that's such bad design, right? So, now that we've learnt a lesson about actual collective action, let's vote ally, shall we? Especially because we're all on 7 BP, so there'd be no reason for us not to all vote ally if you assume we're all trying to get out, which it turns out we are. Bling. Vote recorded. Opening the door, do the thing. Hey, Sigma, are you insane? Why the hell did you choose ally? Wait, we can talk about that later. Right now. She's gone. Where'd she go? Wait, we've heard this. Oh, well, it's not technically a repeat. That's odd, we came out the moment the gates opened. There's no way she could have left already. Then... there it was. Thought so. She didn't pick it up. Without the bracelet, she couldn't have voted. Then she let the system vote ally for her. Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen. Alright, the results. Yeah. Let's go have a look. Thump. Just the one. Dead, dead, result, dead, 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 result, dead. Ally, ally, result, everyone is happy and productive. 999, like the first game, you say? Will this be Phi's ending? This could be, or it could be Luna's ending, or it could be Quark's ending, frankly. Because they're all about to be involved, I would think, because I'm guessing we're going to wait and then all leave together. Or we could not. Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points. Didn't we get Luna's ending? Nope. The one that I thought was going to be Luna's ending turned out to be Sigma's ending. Since Luna didn't vote, she got set to ally automatically. And the other 6 got penalised. Yes, we remember how the game works. Then again, 5 of them are already dead. We don't know where Quark is, but his bracelet's already off. Yeah. That means all those penalties are meaningless. Why did Luna show up then? I mean, we've got our 9 BP now, but... Alright. What do you want to do, Sigma? Do you want to leave? What? You're kidding, right? Weren't you the one who kept going on about how Quark's still alive? Can't just run off and leave him here. You sure? Yeah! Well, that's a relief. I was hoping you'd say that. Well, let's get moving. We need to find Quark. And Luna too, right? Luna. The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 4 of the Ambidex game will be the star round. Star keys are required to open the gates. Fire and I checked our bracelets out of sheer reflex. I was a magenta pair, just like before, but Fire had changed to a red solo. It didn't really matter, though. Both of our bracelets showed the number 9. All we had to do was open the number 9 door and we'd never have to play another AB game again. Alright, Quark comes first. Let's go. She spun around and headed for the cyan door. I followed on her heels. And we looked through all the corpse rooms. Because we can just... God! Oh my god, I just thought, can you imagine if they'd done the full room transition animation between all of these? That would have been hell! All these rooms that we've seen so many times. Oh, now we get this animation. Sigma, there's something I want to ask you. There are 3 doors here. You, Alice, and Luna went through the one on the right. That took you to the Golem Bay, correct? Yeah. According to the map, that's the door on the bottom. Yeah, that's how left and right work. There's a lever on that thing in the middle, right? We pulled it, but it only opened one of the doors. What about it? Take a look. See the lock? 2 of them are open. Yeah. And who the hell opened it? And how? There's only one person who could have opened it. Luna. Alright, let's head in. Okay. Look at these things. We've seen these many times. I think they're treatment pods of some sort. Watchment pods. Even as I spoke, part of me knew what they were, because we've seen them so many times. I didn't know how or why, but I felt a strong sense of deja vu when I looked at them, and suddenly realised I knew exactly how to operate the pods. It was a strange, unsettling feeling, as if somewhere deep inside was a version of myself that I didn't actually know. Yeah, that's me. One of them is lit up. We've literally been here, yes, but not in this timeline. And he doesn't remember other timelines perfectly. Did I just say I was inside Sigma? I didn't phrase it like that. The one on the left, is it being used? The glass is all fogged up, I can't really see inside. Let's crack it open then. Yeah. Quark. And then we ran all the way back to the warehouse because, you know, we can just go straight between rooms when we decide to. Our feet pounded across the floor of the warehouse. I'm not sitting here panting. This is it. Quark's body bounced in my arms as I ran. His pulse and breathing were normal. He was limp and unconscious, but he was alive. Pod's display had given us little information on his condition. As far as we could tell, he'd been given an anesthetic which would put him to sleep. Ready? What's wrong? You're supposed to say yeah, sure. Is it really okay for us to just leave? What the hell is this? You want to stay here? What if Luna kills you too? What? Think about it. Alice, Clover, Tamiyaji, the old woman, even Dio and Kay. There's a good chance Luna killed all of them. But why? Why, it doesn't matter. Remember what we saw on Clover's thigh? 016. And what's that the same number as? The last 3 digits of Luna's product ID. Where did we find the old woman's corpse? In the AB room that Luna came out of. And if you're right, her brain is in the central computer core. That means she could have easily moved that crane, right? She could have used it any time she wanted. That means any alibi she might have for not being able to move the crane is worthless. Exactly. She must have moved the AB room. Alice noticed it right away. At the very least, that would mean Luna had a reason to try and kill Alice. To keep her quiet. She could also have murdered Dio and Kay. Remember their star keys? Luna must have taken them, which puts her in the room with Dio and Kay. You understand, don't you? Admit none of this evidence is conclusive, but look at our options. You, me, Quark, and Luna. Who do you think is the most likely to be the murderer? Think this through, Sigma. Luna's a golem. That means she's a robot that's part of this facility, designed to do God knows what. If what you said about golems and the central computer is true, she's basically a puppet of Zero Junior's. There isn't really much of an argument to be made here. The only option is to leave her here and get out.
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
A robot may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic.
This feels robophobic. You're not wrong. Okay, you're right. Let's get out of here. Damn. Don't scare me like that. Okay, I'm gonna open it. You ready? You don't have to ask me. Isn't that what you always say? Heh. Yeah, I guess so. It's time we got out of here. Let's go. Seriously, that lever still has such a bad action to it. It makes me cringe a little bit every time they play the animation. And you've got this big lever that should be chunky and it just goes flop, flop. With a heavy, laboured groan, the number 9 door began to open. As soon as the gap was wide enough to admit her body, fire slipped through it. I followed her through, Quark still cradled in my arms. Inside was a massive lift platform like the kind used to move industrial cargo. Vi turned to face me, and I shoved Quark into her arms. What? Huh? Before she could respond, I spun around and ran. Okay, this is a move. Presumably, I'm guessing this is Luna's ending.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Sigma! Just that pose, the expression of just, I've been handed a baby, what do I do with it? I know that expression well, having made it myself. What the hell are you thinking? Get back here. Sorry, Fi. there's something I have to do. Take care of Quark. No! You don't mean you're gonna go find Luna? God damn it, Sigma. Think about what you're doing. Sigma, listen to me. You can't do this. Again, that's such a common thing in Japanese localization, and I don't know why, of just... they have to add new lines when all they're doing in the Japanese is just saying somebody's name repeatedly. It's like, maybe that's more common in Japanese, but it still works perfectly well in English. The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay. I had no regrets. In fact, with Phi and Quark's successful escape, I felt a profound sense of relief. One of my objectives had been achieved and a difficult choice had been made. My mind felt clear and focused, more so than it had in a long time. Alright, time to go. Luna's waiting. Okay, for a minute I could have sworn we were about to cut to credits and would have just been like, what? Luna, knew you'd be here. You knew? Oh, right. We haven't talked here in this one, huh? So suddenly Sigma can see all times. We have achieved Super Sigma.
Isn't this nice? This is the only place in this whole facility with anything green. I kind of feel silly for saying it, but it makes me think of the great outdoors. I think it's the perfect place for a serious conversation. Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy. I'm not sure what you meant just now, but are you talking about something that happened in another history?
What?
I know what you can do. Someone told me about it once. They said that you have the ability to transport your consciousness through time.
Who told you that? Luna looked down at the music box around her neck. Carefully and delicately she twisted the dial on the bottom.
Sigma, aren't you here to ask me something? Why I killed them, perhaps?
Well, actually I already know you didn't do it.
Oh? Why do you think I didn't do it? I'd like to know your reasoning.
Alright. I nodded and took a moment to compose my thoughts, because, again, we're suddenly swinging to the other side of the 90% idiot, 10% genius scale. Might as well start with the old woman. There's no point beating around the bush, I suppose. Dio killed her.
Why do you think so?
Her left arm had blood spatter all the way up to the elbow, except for a stripe on the wrist that was perfectly clean. What could have caused that? My guess is a bracelet. It got covered with blood and kept her wrist clean. Obviously none of our bracelets had blood spatter on them, but Dio's bracelet reacted to the luminol. That meant Dio's bracelet had to have come from the old woman.
Is that your proof? That's why you think Dio killed her?
No, that's only enough to suspect him. After all, he could just have taken the bracelet after someone else killed her.
Then why are you so sure?
Because he confessed.
What?
After his bracelet reacted to the luminol, I confronted him. Alright, fine. You caught me. I did it. I killed the old bitch and took her bracelet.
Wait. When did that happen?
Oh, in a different timeline. just like, oh, it just happened in a different history. You know how it is.
Isn't that against the rules?
What rules? I hope you're not going to try and bring up Nox's 10 Commandments. Oh my god, we are actually going there with this. Because, yeah, that's another thing that got mentioned in the secret file and then we didn't really touch on. Nox's 10 Commandments, your 10 rules for a fair play mystery, which this has broken almost every one of. Does it really matter if it's against the rules or fair? The truth is the truth. Let's say that Instant P happens, and after that, the timeline splits into Timeline A, Timeline B. I don't think it's unfair to base a theory in Timeline A on information I found in Timeline B. After all, A and B both came from the same place, P. If you trace the history of both timelines, you'd end up back at Instant P. Now, if I could change what happened with Instant P by visiting Timeline A or B, then yes, it'd be a different story. I don't know that it'd be unfair, per se, but I'd certainly be breaking some pretty big rules. Like, you know, the principle of causality. Seriously, just kablam. Idiot, idiot, genius. I'm sure that Dio killed the old woman. By extension, that means you couldn't have killed her. I'm assuming Dio wasn't originally intended to be part of the nonary game. Somehow he got in and took the old woman's place. That's how he ended up as Quark's partner. This is just an educated guess, but I have a feeling his plan was to replace one of us. I doubt it mattered which one. I have no idea why he'd want to do something like that, and I don't know how he did it either. But the fact remains that he did. He hid in the warehouse on floor A and waited for someone to come out of one of the AB rooms. That someone turned out to be the old woman. She left Quark asleep in the AB room and came out on her own. Somehow he managed to get close enough to stab her, which we made an animation for. He did it near the wall with the graffiti on it. I'm guessing he stabbed her from behind so that he wouldn't get any blood on himself. I mean, you'd know where he stabbed her from, surely. You did all those forensic scans. Anyway. As soon as she was dead, he wrapped the knife up in the handkerchief. No, wait, actually, he probably took the bracelet first, then he would have needed to wipe the blood off, so he used the handkerchief for that too. Anyway, the point is, he got the bracelet and put it on. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the rightmost AB room and his neighbour. Probably didn't expect that they'd move, or he would have put it somewhere else. After that, he headed back into the AB room that the woman had left. Quark would still have been fast asleep, so as far as he knew, Dio was there the whole time. That seems like a terrible plan. This does raise a few other questions, but I'll save those for later. For now, let's move on to the other murders. Well, actually, one of them probably isn't a murder.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about Alice. I'm pretty sure she committed suicide.
All of humanity is going to die. Adults, children, everyone. Everyone. There won't be anyone left. I'd rather die here.
She'd been infected with Radical 6, which feels like we haven't talked about in a hot minute. I think that infection caused her to take her own life. She used Dio's knife, which she found in the warehouse after the AB room moved and exposed it. She took it with her and then used it to stab herself in the crew quarters. Next are Clover and Tamiyaji. First question is, who put handcuffs on them? The clue is the message Clover left, 016. If you think about it though, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I was thinking this. Clover's left hand was in the handcuffs. That means she should have had to write with her right hand on her right thigh. I feel like it would be really hard to do that. Why? This is a flimsy reasoning here. It's really easy to write on your right thigh with your right hand. It's right there. Am I the weird one in being able to touch my inner thigh with the hand on that side? I don't think I am. Yeah, same. Also too bendy, but that still seems like a very human thing to be able to do. Yeah, good. Chatter will agree with me. Why not just use your left thigh? Why? The thing is, I think she did. When she died, her legs slumped together and the message got transferred to the right thigh, called this as well. We just never saw the original because we didn't bother to check the other leg. See, the mystery was just that everyone was an idiot. We don't know what happened because we're really bad at detectiving. In other words, she wasn't trying to write 016. She was trying to write Dio. Another puzzle that you will have seen coming miles away if you'd have played Danganronpa. Spike Chunsoft, stop reusing tropes. With her dying breath, she was trying to tell us the name of her killer. Now, about Kay and Dio. I think there's a pretty good chance Dio killed Kay. Here's how I imagine it happened. Kay probably sprayed Dio's bracelet with luminol. We found the bottle in Kay's robe. He wouldn't have seen the reaction immediately, but Dio would have known what was coming. I will stretch, but not because I won't be able to reach my own inner thigh otherwise. I take it back. This whole Master Detective explanation is swinging the needle back towards Idiot, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as Kay turned the lights off, it would be clear that Dio had taken the old woman's bracelet. My guess is he decided to take preemptive action. When we found their bodies, the lights in the rec room were on. Maybe Kay turned to switch the light off, and Dio took the opportunity to attack him. Like, this is a stupid explanation, and I've watched every episode of Death in Paradise. Kay was hurt pretty badly, but he didn't die right away. He probably managed to grab the spear and stab Dio. Didn't we suggest that earlier and then reject it as a bad explanation? And do we have to keep doing the blood spray animation every time? Then he died. Blood spray animation? No. So that accounts for all 6 bodies. None of them your fault. Sigma? I'm glad you don't think I did it, but all of your theories are just, well, theories. I mean, yeah, that's how forensics works. Trying to think of ways an inner thigh might be hard to reach with your right hand, but most of them are not physically possible without far more restraints. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's how forensics works. They're always just the best theory that fits all the facts. You can never really find 100% conclusive, incontrovertible proof of past events, because that's how it works. There's time. I think it's a Chris Addison line. All archaeology can tell us is that we were all skeletons who lived underground. Everything else is supposition. Which, yes, not perfect, but... Like Alice committing suicide. How can you be so sure? Say she was infected with Radical 6. She could have been murdered before her symptoms even began to present themselves. As for Clover and Tamiyaji, I could easily have killed them. You don't have any proof that Clover's message was mirrored, like you say, or even that it was supposed to refer to Dio.
Even if it did, that's not conclusive evidence of his guilt. The same goes for Kay and Dio. I could have killed them both. I just... Why do you trust me so much? I'm a machine. I'm part of this place. How can you trust a machine?
That's why I trust you.
What?
I trust you because you're a robot. See, this is the less robophobic ending. Your robotness is just one more reason you can't be the killer. Well, 3 more reasons. Seriously, we're going to use the 3 laws as a thing, despite the fact that they are not presented as, like, actual things that exist within the universe of the game. They are presented as things that people wrote in a book. And that robots don't... They're not laws that robots necessarily have to follow in any possible incarnation of robots. They are the laws that robots were programmed to follow in that one specific set of books. Anyway.
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
A robot may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic. Sigma.
Luna, I have to ask you, can you tell me, well, everything you know? We all know robots aren't going to follow Asimov's laws because then the cops couldn't use them. I mean, yeesh, but also entirely correct. Your mind is in the central server. You should know everything that's happened here. There was a long pause. All governments, they're the same picture. Luna stood up and walked deeper into the garden. I followed her in silence. Eventually we reached the bench. Luna quietly sat down, and just like last time, I lowered myself down beside her.
You were right. I didn't kill them. How should I explain? Well, actually, you got most of it right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Tell me everything.
Well, first, yes.
Luna saying that earlier of her own volition without anybody knowing that she's a robot is an expression of her own internal morals. I mean, yeah, but like they were presented at the time as this was in an Asimov book. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's clearly what they're going for, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
First, yes, Dio did sneak into the facility. He used the large cargo elevator and came into the warehouse on floor A through the number 9 door. Since the game hadn't started yet, anyone could go through it.
There's more egregious leaps of logic. Again, you're not wrong, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. It doesn't really sound like sneaking, it sounds more like you just walked in.
Yes, I guess you could say that. He did get in pretty easily. But that's because Zero Jr. lured him here.
What do you mean?
Dio wasn't a surprise. Both Zeros knew that he was going to come.
So they brought him here?
In a way.
But why?
Because his presence was an important part of Zero's project.
What project?
I can't go into that right now. Would be here forever.
I mean, isn't that the plan? Like, you're going to be here forever, so just roll with it.
Right now, let's just focus on the murders, okay? Anyway, Dio found his way in. They made sure he didn't know that he was actually being let in.
So why did he come here?
To make sure Zero's project failed. His first step was to pretend to be one of the players. As for how he did that, you had it pretty much right. The old woman was the first one out, and he killed her under the graffiti. He put her bracelet on after he wiped the blood off it with the handkerchief. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the 5th and 6th AB rooms.
5th and 6th.
Counting from the left in their original placement.
In other words, the rightmost room would be the 6th room, and the one next to it would be the 5th. Why are you needing this explaining, Sigma?
Right. After that, he went back into the 5th AB room, where Quark was sleeping. Then he just waited for Quark to wake up.
But then where was the corpse? Where? That doesn't account for where the corpse was. What were you doing while that was happening?
Nothing. I couldn't do anything. My body had been turned off. Zero Jr. had powered me down. My body wasn't activated until after Dio went into the 5th room. I couldn't help her. All I could do was watch while she was murdered. Everything in this place is controlled by Zero Jr. I couldn't try and prevent Dio from getting in either.
Wait, if Zero Jr. controls everything, then he was the one who moved the 6th room with the crane.
Yes, that's right. Zero Jr. moved the room, not me.
Then who moved the old woman?
Me.
Okay, here we go. Fair enough.
It took me 10 minutes to get out of my AB room once I was turned back on. I ran over to check on her as soon as I did. Then I carried her back to the room I'd been in.
Why did you do that?
Because I was ordered to.
What?
Luna, listen to me very carefully. As you already know, the final stage of the project begins in 2 hours. This will be the culmination of many years of hard work. We cannot afford failure. Yes, I understand. Then let's make sure. What is your mission? Enter the nunnery game as one of the participants and observe the actions of the other players.
Is the old woman June? They've not said it. I called that many episodes ago. Oh wait, no, they have said that. Haven't they? I can't remember whether they've said that outright or just significantly hinted at it. Was Luna the mumbot that Kay rejected? I don't know. I mean, the old woman is the woman who brought Kay up. Oh, so... I mean, that would make sense, yeah. Look, this game has been a lot. I don't remember all of the threads.
Ensure that they do what they are supposed to and guide them down the correct paths. How many players will there be? Myself and 7 others, Mom. Will you be participating as well? Yes. Our plan dictates that I must. An individual by the name of Dio will be entering this facility presently. He has been led to believe he is doing so undetected. You've been briefed on him already, correct? Yes. He will murder the first person to leave one of the AB rooms and take their place. If a pair is the first out, he'll probably kill both of them. That's all the information I've been given on him, Ma'am. Is there a problem? With all due respect, Ma'am, I would like to state that I don't feel right about this. We know someone is going to be killed and we're just going to let it happen. I also have doubts about the use of Radical 6. Are you sure? Infecting all these people with such a horrible disease. That is none of your concern.
Your only concern is to follow your orders.
But...
Luna, I am giving you an order. I am in command, and you do as I say. You are programmed to do as I say. You know this.
Yes.
Good. Now I have one final order.
Another order, Mom?
Yes. When you leave the AB room, the person Dio has killed will still be there. I would like you to move them.
Where?
To the room you are about to enter. The 6th AB room.
But... why?
Not your concern. As a participant in the game, you must have as little knowledge of it as possible. That is why I have made sure you are unable to access any classified data. There are things you must not know. In order for this project to succeed, we need you to be as close to a clean slate as possible. There are some things you already know which, ideally, you would not. Unfortunately, this is unavoidable, so you must refrain from divulging anything you know about the project to the other participants. You must never tell anyone what you know about Dio, or the body, or that you carried it to the 6th AB room. You'll have to pretend you know nothing more than the rest of the participants.
Is that an order?
Yes. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. After that, I went into the AB room as I'd been told to do. As soon as I stepped inside, my body deactivated. But since my brain is in the main computer, I was still awake. So I still saw everything. While I waited, I used the security cameras to see what was going on in the rest of the facility.
And if the old woman's June, what in the time fuckery is going on? Because Clover doesn't look like she's aged as much as that. But then you did miss the Clover ending. Honestly, the Clover ending didn't give us a huge amount more. Because even the amount of time between the games has been really squishy depending on who's talked about it. It's been 1 year, or 3 years, or a lot more. And you saw the old woman being murdered. Or 7 years, I think, but you can make it by some reckonings.
Yes. It was hard. What I was seeing made no sense. Several of my higher level processes nearly failed. To think that she would be the first person to come out. I think she knew that Dio was going to kill her. When she'd said she had one final order for me, I didn't understand what she meant. Like a fool, I told her I didn't approve when I had no idea what she was prepared to do. When she died, whatever I have that passes for a heart felt like it snapped in two.
I think I understand. Everything you did because you've been ordered to.
Yes.
And it was the old woman who gave you those orders. And is she Zero Senior?
No.
What? But if she gave you the orders...
She did, but she wasn't the only person I took orders from.
There was someone else?
Yes.
And that person is Zero Senior?
Yes. They worked together to develop the project she mentioned. So I suppose technically my orders came from both of them. And they were both controlling Zero Junior too. I told you before that Zero Jr. moved the 6th AB room. Although that's strictly true, he didn't do it of his own free will. They ordered him to do it. He was following orders, just like me.
Oh, that is a soulless face render. Sorry, Luna, but it's true. But why?
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe they did it so that people wouldn't suspect me.
If they didn't want people to suspect you, then why have you moved the body in the first place? Eventually, we'd figure out that the rooms had been moved and that she was in your room.
Then maybe they wanted the opposite.
You mean...
Maybe they wanted you to suspect me.
That doesn't make sense either. If they wanted people to suspect you, why move the room?
You're right. Then maybe they only wanted certain people to be suspicious of me.
You mean like Alice?
Yes. Perhaps they wanted Alice to find the handkerchief and the knife. That would explain why they moved the room.
So they somehow knew Dio would hide the knife there?
Yes. I think so.
But how could they know that?
Well, whatever the reasons were, Alice did notice that the room was moved. Which meant that Clover also figured it out. And just like you said, Alice used the knife to take her life.
Sigma literally has memory of other timelines. Also Sigma, how could anyone know what would happen in another timeline? Yep. Everyone in these games is just like, I have superpowers, but the notion that anyone else might have superpowers is just wild and irrational.
Clover didn't realise that though, or perhaps she didn't want to. In any event, she decided that I must have killed Alice to keep her quiet. So she confronted me. It was right after the second round of the AB game. Using Phi's timetable, that would be 0 hours, 0 minutes.
Wait. You were listening to us in the security office? That render. Ugh.
Yes.
Nobody else is the protagonist, of course I should be special. Yeah.
That wasn't all I was listening to, though. I know everything that happened in the facility after my body collapsed.
You were watching through the security cameras.
Yes, I was. I could see and hear everything. Anyway, we're at 0 hours, 0 minutes. I was in the hallway on floor A when Clover found me and took me to room 2 in the crew quarters. We entered at about 0 hours, 1 minute.
Luna was not Uncanny Valley until this scene, right? Apart from maybe the face of Durkin, but apart from that.
She was very forceful. I know you killed Alice. Tell me the truth and I'll let you live. Now fess up, I'm only going to give you one chance. If you lie or try and play dumb or something, I'll kill you right in front of her. I told her the truth, of course. I explained that I hadn't killed Alice, that she'd been infected with Radical 6 and it had caused her to kill herself. Clover was never going to believe that, though. We argued about it for nearly 9 minutes.
She used to believe Luna opened her mouth and a recording of Clover's voice came out. Absolutely. 100%.
It wasn't just Alice she asked me about. She asked me about the murder of the old woman, and about the AB room being moved. She wasn't very nice about it, but I couldn't answer any of her questions.
Because of your orders?
Yes. Then at about 0 hours 10 minutes, she must have run out of patience. She stuck her hand in her pocket and started moving toward me. She backed me up against the wall. and pulled her hand out of her pocket. She was holding the injection gun.
Oh, we animated this. Some of it, at least.
I tried to take it away from her. I even screamed for help.
Biggest twist of the ending, Clover's outfit has pockets, right? I mean, all of these people appear to have far more pocket space than they rationally should have.
I even screamed for help. She refused to let go, of course.
Everybody has pockets big enough for one of those spray bottles of luminol.
While we were fighting over it,
What? Hold on a minute. The trigger got pulled in the fight, I get that part. What I don't understand is why it did anything to you. We've been over this, Sigma!
you mean because I'm a golem?
Yeah.
One of my orders was always to act like I was one of the players, a human. Any human injected with that amount of tubercularity would die.
That's why you died. To keep up the facade that you were human.
No, I collapsed because Zero Jr. turned off the power to my body again. He probably felt he had to. Maintaining the illusion that I was human was probably in his orders too. So to make it look like I had died, he turned the power off. Whatever the case, it was an accident. I don't think Clover ever intended to actually kill me.
Also, fighting over an injection gun and it going off and accidentally sticking someone, I kind of get. But she was injected there. How does that happen during a fight?
She only took the injection gun to try and threaten me.
How can you be sure?
When I collapsed, she looked terrified. She checked for my pulse and listened to see if I was breathing. She also shook my body and called out to me several times. If she'd meant to kill me, why do all that? After a few moments, she ran off to the infirmary to get the AED.
Finally, Chekhov's defibrillator is getting fired. You mean the defibrillator?
Yes.
That uses an electric shock to restart the heart, right? No, not quite, but fine.
Correct.
So that was why she left. Refused to accept that Clover felt bad about doing a murder, right?
Yes. At 0 hours 11 minutes 40 seconds, Clover left the cabin in the crew quarters. She ran off toward the infirmary. On the way, she bumped into Dio.
Dio.
Yes. I guess she just saw him, really. They didn't talk, she just ran past.
It defibrillates the heart. Exactly. Really what it does is stop the heart doing too much rather than stop it doing too little. But hey, that's another rant. And he just watched her go by.
Yes. I imagine he was curious, of course. He probably wondered what she was doing. But he chose not to go after her. He had something else to do.
Getting his knife back.
At 0 hours 12 minutes, Dio enters the room. He seemed pretty surprised to find my body.
Yeah, I bet.
It didn't take him long to get over it, though.
Wouldn't imagine it would.
What did he do then? He'd gone there for two reasons. One was to get Alice's bracelet, which was a blue solo.
Right. Without it, Dio and Kay, the yellow pair, wouldn't be able to get through the secondary door. Right?
Yeah. But he couldn't find it.
course, Phi had already taken it by then.
Yes, but there was something else he wanted to do too. He was there to take the knife. Removing it was gruesome.
Why did he want the knife? Is it because he had used it to kill the old woman?
No, I don't think so.
Then what do you think?
I think he didn't want anyone to see the engraving on the knife's blade. That's why he hid it so well after he killed the old woman.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he want anyone to see that? Again, you've seen this in other timelines.
Do you remember what it said?
Just use a different knife? No, because it's vitally important that this secret terrorist cult organization engrave its name on everything it has ever touched. Several times if possible. When your benchmark for villainous organizations is fucking Cobra, you get some bad ideas.
Do you remember what it said? There was a word engraved on the blade.
Myrmidons. What if the Myrmidons are just the modern Trump org? Well, that's distressingly possible.
Yes.
What does Myrmidons mean? Oh cool, you don't remember that from other timelines. It's Uncle Sigma who can recall his past lives but not perfectly. And that's this week's edition of Jokes I Find Very Funny and Nobody Else Will.
It's the name of the organization he belongs to.
Ant-Man? What about Ant-Man? What? Did I miss something there? Ant-Man? What is it, like a club or something? No, it's a knife.
I don't think so.
Well, what is it then? Oh, Myrmidon, yeah. Okay. That's the kind of classical language pun I should have seen coming. Carry on.
I don't really know.
No idea?
I'm afraid not.
Wait, wasn't he here to try and stop whatever Zero was doing?
Yes.
Then... I mean, he's on our side?
I don't know about that.
I mean, literally, the first thing he did on coming in here was a murder, so maybe not on people's side.
He's killed 4 people.
There we go, thank you.
I'm not really sure he's on anyone's side.
Huh, yeah, you've got a point. Damn it, this is ridiculous. Yeah, tell me about it. If we're going to start calling out everything in this game that's ridiculous, we'll be here a while. Guess this enemy of my enemy isn't my friend, huh?
May I continue?
Oh yeah, keep going.
After he took the knife, Dio rifled through what few belongings Alice had. Luna said he didn't seem to be looking for anything in particular. He was probably just checking to see if she had anything useful. That was where he found the key to Kay's suit. He didn't seem to have any particular reason for taking it. At least, as far as Luna could tell.
Oh wait, why are we suddenly in third person? I was just like, why is she talking about Luna? But okay, for these we are switching back to narration apparently. At 0 hours 13 minutes, Dio left the room.
He heard Kay opening the cyan door and ran out. When he left, he was heading toward the infirmary. My guess is that he was going after Clover. He found her with the AED. She was probably planning to just ignore him and head back, but Dio didn't let her.
Hey, wait. Just what are you planning to do with that thing? That felt like an editing oversight, maybe? Or, like I say, we did just switch back to narration for all of the 2 lines. I'm thinking about trying to resuscitate Luna. Why would you want to do that? You were the one who killed her, weren't you? When Clover tried to push past Dio, Luna said, they began to fight. Yeah, again, we're just going back into narration. Strange. The fuck do you think you're doing? Dio pulled the knife out of his pocket and pointed it at Clover's throat. That was when he showed up.
Dio, what the hell are you doing?
None of your goddamn business. Stay out of this, you senile old shit.
Like hell, you son of a bitch!
He let out a yell and leapt toward Dio. The younger man dodged him easily and lashed out with the knife. Tamiyaji caught Dio's hand with a grunt, and for a moment the two men struggled. Then, as the knife edged closer, he wrapped his other hand around the blade and tried to force it away. Blood splash animation. Scrunching noises. Dio was a much younger and stronger man, and the wound Tamiyaji gave himself with the knife didn't do him any favours. He put up a valiant fight, but with a roar, Dio threw him off. And Tamiyaji collapsed to the floor. Okay, see you later, Abby. Not sitting here panting.
What are you going to do?
Let's see. How about this?
Ah!
Ah, how cute. You two really look great together, you know.
What are you going to do to us?
Isn't it obvious? I'm going to handcuff you to a sink. Actually, I already have.
Are you going to beat us to death or something?
Oh, no. Nothing so tasteless.
What are you going to do then?
I like how Tamiyaji got a ... there, despite the fact that he is, I believe, not conscious. How would you like to make a bet?
A bet?
You've got 20-some minutes until the primary white doors open. So I'd say you've got 25 minutes until they close, give or take. If somebody happens to come by here before the doors close, then you might live. But if nobody finds you, well...
We'll be penalized.
Exactly. So I suggest you start screaming for help now. Unfortunately for you, just about all the rooms in this place are behind at least 2 nice, thick doors. Why did I pronounce it as though he was saying thick with 2 C's? Who can tell? Who could say? Thick doors. Excuse me while I cut off my own tongue. So unless they're pretty close, nobody's gonna hear you scream. Well, I'm off to the Floor B warehouse. Okay? Enjoy your last 25 minutes. Later.
"25 minutes passed and no one came. Of course, by then there were only 3 other people who could have come, apart from Dio.
You mean me, Phi, and K, right? Or Mephic, as the group name is. No.
Yes. You were in the crew quarters at this point.
It's just round the corner. Yeah. Kay had told us about you. We'd also noticed that the knife in Alice's chest had been removed. If only we'd known what was happening in the infirmary. Also, where did Dio get the handcuffs? That's a question that's just presented itself to me that, yeah, now that I think about it, Where the hell did the handcuffs come from?
Unfortunately for Clover and Tamiyaji, their time had come. Once the primary white door closed, both of their bracelets injected them with soporil.
The anaesthetic, right?
Yes. Almost immediately, they started to feel sleepy. I think that's when Clover realised she was definitely going to die.
From the horny game room? Okay, you make a solid point.
That was when she decided to leave her message. Just as you said, she wrote on her left thigh with her right hand, because humans can't reach their right leg with their right hand. That's not a thing that's possible.
And the word she wrote was Dio.
Yes.
And hey, if you use capitals, it's a lot easier to tell.
As for what happened in the rec room, well, I guess I don't really need to tell you. Your theory was essentially correct. What you said was what happened.
So, Kay sprayed Dio's bracelet with luminol, and then while his back was turned, Dio attacked him with the axe. Squirt, 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 axe, 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 splat, splat, splat. Dio mortally wounded him, but didn't kill him, so Kay turned around and stabbed Dio with a spear. Because, surprisingly, what we found out is plate armor actually quite good at protecting you from being attacked by it with an axe. Who knew? Who could have possibly seen this twist coming? Oh no, my opponent is clad in medieval armor. Better attack him with a medieval weapon. Throw, 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 splat, splat, splat. And I guess that's when we found them.
Yes.
When did Kay get the luminol?
After they went through the white door, Dio and Kay found themselves in the director's office. When they were done there, they headed back to floor A to look for everyone else. They went to the crew quarters first, then to the infirmary. Of course, they found Clover and Tamiyaji's bodies there. Dio expected to find them, of course, but he pretended to be shocked. Anyway, Kay checked them over for anything useful.
And that was when he found the luminol.
Right.
I love it how she's like, I don't need to tell you what happened, you already know, because you already said it. And then the game's like, but we will.
That's everything that happened. Do you have any questions?
Well, what do you think? Does a bear shit in the woods? Well, first thing, Quark's bracelet. Why was it in the infirmary?
Tamiyaji had it.
Then when Dio attacked him, it fell out of his pocket. But why did Tamiyaji have Quark's bracelet?
I told him where it was.
When?
Do you remember when you were in the rec room with Fi and Tamiyaji?
Yeah, when he sprayed us with the luminol, right? Sure, I remember that.
Right after then. When he left the rec room, he went toward the green door to look for Quark. I ran into him at the end of the hallway where the 3 doors and the switch are. That was when I told him. Look, Tamiyaji! The center door is unlocked. He took off through it without another word.
That was the treatment room, right?
Yes.
Where Quark was sleeping.
Right. It only took him a moment. As soon as he saw Quark, he ran to his pod and started crying.
Out of relief, right?
Yes. The display on the pod showed Quark's vital signs. It was obvious he was alive the moment you looked at it. Next to the pod was Quark's bracelet. That was how Tamiyaji got it.
Why was Quark's bracelet off?
I took it off.
How?
Aluminium foil.
Elaborate? Not the answer I was expecting in any world. What? You mean the stuff from the crew quarters?
Oh, you found it. Did you know that aluminium foil has electromagnetic shielding properties?
What?
Here's an exciting fact. Your heart creates a bunch of faint electrical impulses. Anyway, the point is that you can detect the electricity that your heart makes by pumping blood. Your fancy little bracelets pick up on that. They're always watching.
Wait, so you're telling me the aluminium foil can block the electromagnetic waves your heart sends out?
Yes.
Okay, anybody who's got a Fitbit, can you find out if that actually works? Although I say that, stopping a Fitbit working is not the hardest thing in the world.
All you have to do is wrap it around your bracelet.
And the bracelet thinks your heart has stopped.
Yes.
Holy shit. It was that easy. All along.
Anyway, I used some aluminium foil to get Quark's bracelet off. Then I put it next to the pod.
Wait, why was Quark in the pod to begin with?
Oh, that's easy. I put it in there.
When did you do that?
Remember when we were first looking for Quark? I found him unconscious near the entrance to the Golem Bay.
So you carried him to the treatment pod?
Yes.
Were you the one who unlocked the treatment center too?
No, I was not. I do not have the authority to operate any of this facility's machinery.
So it was Zero Junior?
That's right.
He reactivated your body too, right? Man, I don't get any of this. Back to idiot. Why the hell did he do that? I guess it wasn't really him that did it, huh? He was just doing what Zero Senior and the old lady told him to do. Everything leads back to them, huh? Of course it does. So are you gonna tell me?
Tell you what?
Isn't that obvious? Tell me what this project is. Everything that happens in here has something to do with it. So, why were we brought here?
To play the nonary game.
And why were we supposed to play the nonary game?
That was part of the project.
Why did Alice kill herself?
Because she was infected with Radical 6.
How did she get infected?
Zero Senior and the old woman did that.
Why?
It was a necessary evil. It had to happen for the project to succeed.
What would have happened if Alice hadn't committed suicide?
Clover wouldn't have suspected me, and she wouldn't have accidentally, killed me.
Then what?
I wouldn't have collapsed, and Dio wouldn't have found my body. That would have meant the confrontation in the infirmary never took place.
In other words, you're saying Clover and Tamiyaji died for this project.
Yes.
Well, actually, it was the Tubercularian that killed them, but they were only injected with it because of their bracelets, and they were only wearing those bracelets because of the nonary game. If the nonary game was part of the project, then that's one more way it killed them.
I guess. If you want to look at it that way.
Now, what about Kay and Dio? Why would they kill each other?
Because Dio killed the old woman.
We're just rehashing the same things here. Catch up, Sigma.
He was worried about getting caught, so he tried to kill Kay before he could find out the truth.
Then if Dio hadn't killed the old lady, what happened in the rec room would never have taken place, right?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Why did Dio kill her?
So that he could pose as one of the participants.
And why did he do that?
To disrupt the project.
Then why did she let him kill her?
The same reason they did all of this.
Maybe he sees holes in this logic that only a protagonist gets. Well, maybe. I'm not the protagonist, so I clearly don't know things. I must defer to my master detective friend, Sigma.
It was a necessary evil. The project couldn't be allowed to fail.
Everyone dies for the project. 6 people died here. 6? Oh yeah, the old woman. How did I forget her? 4 of them were murdered, one way or another, by Dio. First, that makes it look like Dio's the reason they all died, but that's not true, is it? Well, yeah. Let's have a moment for how we apportion fault. Maybe the ultimate kind of instigating cause of all of this is Zero's project. Dio still murdered a bunch of people. Like, he still very much had the option to not murder a bunch of people. As soon as we start saying that, well, in those circumstances, people couldn't have made a choice for things like this, then that kind of removes the entire possibility of criminal fault, surely. All of them. All 6 of them. They all died for this project. Things can be 2 things. They died for the project, but also Dio very much murdered them. That means the murderer, or I guess I should say murderers, were the old lady and Zero Senior, right? No! 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 No, the person who stabbed them and then handcuffed 2 people to a sink and then hit a guy in the back of the head with an axe was the murderer. Sigma, did you stretch before that reach, right? Please, Luna, tell me. What is this project about? And is it something less stupid than the master plan in the last game? Because that made me very angry. I do not understand the message of this game. I'm less and less convinced there is one. Who is the old woman? Who's Zero?
Sigma, would you hug me?
I don't know, you look at me with a face like that. No. Right now the message is robots are trustworthy and time travelers are not. And terrorists absolutely are not, is your main thing there. Collective action is good/bad and people are/aren't responsible for their own choices. Yeah, that's about the long and short of it. What? There you go. That's what the message of this game is. That right there. It's right on the screen. That's the message of this game. It's bad. Terrorists aren't responsible for their actions if a time traveler knows they'll do them. Seems legit. Yet safety bad. There you go. There's... not gonna lie, I kind of want this terrible, terrible shirt. Instead of answering, Luna wrapped her arms around me and buried her face in my chest. My own arms hovered in the air, confused about where they should go. That's a weird way of phrasing that. Just sounds so... What are you, Rayman? Your arms have just detached and float next to you. Yes, also the trucker tit lady silhouette. That thing that just says Star that looks an awful lot like the logo for Spar, which is a British supermarket chain. 3 hearts on your waist. The obligatory anarchy symbol. There's such a lot to unpack there. This shirt should be an entire game on its own. Yeah, you're not wrong. I swallowed hard and tried to rein in my heartbeat, which had suddenly doubled. Oh my god, are you seriously just... Oh, woman? I was about to speak when I felt something warm on my chest. Was Luna crying?
This feels nice.
Her voice shook as she spoke. Well, not in the way I was voicing it, because I couldn't be bothered to put emotion into this strange moment. Emily. I'm going to gloss over that immediately. I'm sorry, you should be. I lowered one hand to her head and began to gently stroke her hair, because I hadn't made this weird enough. Okay. Didn't see that coming. I reached up to stroke her hair and then I pulled it out. TFW stroking too aggressively. Hey. Luna, you appear to be disintegrating. What the hell is going on?
I'm sorry. My ABT is usually held in place by muscle fibre. But after Clover gave me the tuber curarin.
Okay, I get it.
Does it scare you? This is what I really look like. I'm a golem. Just a machine. A jumble of metal and plastic that pretends to be real.
I wrapped my arms around Luna and hugged her as tight as I could. This scares me less than the weird face earlier, right?
You believed in me this whole time.
Yeah.
Even though I look like this.
Of course. I trust you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I could stay here forever.
Again, I feel like that's the plan.
You feel so nice. But I think my time is up.
What?
I've done things I really shouldn't have. Do you remember what you asked me earlier? About if Zero Jr. had reactivated my body. Remember? The truth is, he didn't. I did. I went to the part of the core that controlled Zero Jr. and I hacked it.
What?
Yes. That was the first thing. The second... Do you know what the second one was? If I had really wanted to, I could have saved Clover and Tamiyaji. Then Kay and Dio probably wouldn't have killed each other. That's not all. I could have stopped Alice from killing herself, and I could have even saved the old woman at the very beginning. In other words, I had the ability to disobey my orders. But I didn't. That's the second thing. I broke the first law. I was Scared?
This robot has become Catholic.
I was afraid to die. Obviously, hacking the core and taking control of Zero Junior's systems is very, very bad. Golems who don't follow orders can become dangerous, so we're terminated if we disobey. You lose access to your body, of course. But everything that's stored in the core, your memories, your consciousness, is deleted.
What? Wait, are you saying...
Yes. Very soon now I'll be gone. Zero Junior is probably recovering himself right now. Once he's done, I doubt I'll be around much longer.
What? Why? Yeah, you're full decaying now.
I watched 6 people die and did nothing. I deserve this.
No. No, you don't. Even if you had done something, you would have been killed anyway. Can't blame yourself. You did what you could. You're not wrong. This game is what's wrong. Forcing you to watch your friends die is what's wrong.
Oh, Sigma. Thank you. I'm really glad I met you.
Luna! Luna! It's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna let them do this. How do you plan to stop them? You're gonna be fine. I promise. Just please don't...
I'm sorry. My time's up. At least I get to die in your arms.
Luna!
Thank you, Sigma. And goodbye, Doctor.
Doctor? Doctor? Wait, are K and Sigma both clones of Zero? And ironically do really love the Luna decaying art. Oh yeah, same here. But she couldn't answer. I squeezed my eyes shut and held her, unable to bear the thought of letting any more of her slip away. With one last quiet chime, the music box wound down. I was left with nothing but silence and the cold pool of tears over my heart. And that's an ending. 2 to go. 2 to go. Progress. Progress. Pro and indeed grass. Anyway, I don't know why I'm waiting for the credits. We've seen them. Luna ending. Bing. Now we just have Quark and Phi. Okay, looking at the flowchart. So we've got the route with disarming the bombs. So we can go back there. We can put in password number 2. We've got this one. This feels like it's going to add more flowchart because we've got a words. We still need to find one more password because we know as well as 1, 2, and 3 there is a number 0 bomb. Also, there's still another escape room to do. So I'm guessing both of those will be on this center track. And then we'll just have to go up and get the, and kind of pick up all the passwords and take them over to that far right track. I'm assuming. So let's hit the center track and get some of that cracked out before I finish. 5 minutes of life. So, what has happened before this? Don't know, the scroll doesn't work like that. Oh, this is where my BP has just dropped to -1. Sigma's BP is...
Negative.
Suddenly all eyes were on me. I felt their weight, but stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. I took a deep breath, Close my eyes. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic sopril. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. Cut my arm off its robots? Yeah, I think that's where we're going with this. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor. Sigma! Sigma! Hang on!
Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in front of the number 9 door. Damn it. You keep your promise. Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, this is where he was blackmailing us with the Excalibur. I groaned and with a Herculean effort lifted my head and then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. Somehow I forced myself ahead, a single thought burning in my mind. I would reach Dio. Then, at last, everything straightened up. The smudge of colour faded into a recognisable person. I threw out my hand in front of him. Give it back. Give me the medicine. Give it back? Don't act like it's yours. Aren't we supposed to share everything we find here? I just don't care. Just hand me the medicine. What are you talking about? We found the Excalibur in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What?
You mean he has it? Right now?
Yeah. So I kept my promise. Now you... I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Excalibur. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. Gathered as much of my mind as I could and got ready to attack. Fine. Not quite what I'd been expecting. Here. With a shrug, he pulled the vial out of his pocket and tossed it toward me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle to my chest, worried I might drop it. The anesthetic has not done a lot to your reflexes. I guess, robot arms. The label said, unmistakably, Excalibur. It was the real thing. Not necessarily, it just says it is. Then it all went wobbly again. Clover, take it. I held it out toward her.
Right. Of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Again, pockets? Good. Now at least Quark will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me and I dropped to my knees. Ah! Sigma, are you okay? What did you miss? What did you miss? Wow! It was a bunch. When did you leave? Yeah, basically, Cliff's notes. The 3 laws of robotics are a thing, except occasionally robots can decide not to follow them. She didn't kill those people, mostly Dio did. Dio was even creepier than usual. and then because she broke the 3 laws, Luna's face fell off and she died. Is most of it. For everything else, there's the VOD. And if you think the face falling off and dying is a riff, that is 100% what happened.
Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it.
First is the supper ale, which puts you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tuberculorin is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
9 minutes. Once the Sopro was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxant followed it. About 4 minutes had already passed, which left me with 5, give or take a little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh. Even with death staring me in the face, I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what little consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. How could I save myself? How? It had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just had to think. Think. If there was a way out, I'd find it. Check out this key while the DJ rebinds it. I don't know if I made that joke last time, but I feel like I might have, but also I hate it, but also I like it. I wasn't ready to give up on life just yet. There had to be an answer. And then my brain flashed through time, mysterious white fluid. Mysterious white fluid.
Sigma, what's wrong with your hand? There's something white on it.
Oh god, we're back.
The structure of the bones in your arms isn't anything close to human. Your arms are cybernetic.
What the hell was that? I have cybernetic arms? To be fair, though, like, yes, we know within the context of playing the game that we're getting information from other timelines, but I have cybernetic arms is exactly the kind of thing you will suddenly realise while anesthetic is kicking in. And it will all make perfect sense. You just be like, oh my god, I'm a robot. I say this as somebody who has a history of hilarious reactions to anaesthetic, coming from a family of people who have hilarious reactions to anaesthetic. It was both shocking and utterly obvious. Of course my arms are artificial. Why is my thumb so pointy? That looks... I know it's just the distortion, but it makes it look like some kind of Assassin's Creed thing. Titanium alloy bones with an ABT exterior to mimic human skin. But I had no idea why. Nor did I know when my human arms, which I distinctly remembered having, had been replaced. In that flash of Luna I'd seen, I was certain it had never happened. Those things hardly mattered, though. If I survived, I could worry about them later. The fact that my arms were mechanical, however, that might be useful. I called up all the strength I had left and stood one more time. What are you waiting for? Why don't you open it already? What? Did I stutter? I mean, a bit. Also, the distortion is making Dio's hat hilarious. Just... enormous hat. In here looking like Aldous Harding. Open the number 9 door.
Sigma! What are you saying?
Huh. Looks like you finally gave up. Whatever. I was just about to flip the switch anyway. Then hurry up and... Hey, don't rush me. Okay. You've got 9 BP now, right?
Yes.
Well, what do you say? Wanna come with? Yes, that was the most important thing you missed, Abby, was Sigma's shirt. We got a close-up view of it, and it is the purest trash there has ever been.
I will remain here.
Why?
I cannot abandon Sigma.
Don't worry about me. Go. You have to get outside and call for help.
But...
Do you think Dio will? If he's the only one who gets out of here, there's no hope for the rest of us. You're the only one we can count on.
I understand.
Great. Glad we got that settled. Shall we go? No. Stop. Fire began to move, but it was already too late. Dio grabbed the lever and threw it down. Flop, flop, don't like it. Seriously, I don't know whether the floppy levers or the scene transitions bother me more. Actually, I say that out loud, I absolutely know it's the scene transitions, but the floppy levers are a close second.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
It's been fun. Peace.
I promise to call for help and return as soon as I can. Please, do not give up hope.
Yeah, I know. Just get going already.
But...
Oh, that's me, but... Just you, okay? As Dio turned to look at me, I crouched. Then, calling on every last bit of strength my wearied body could supply, I launched myself toward him like a coiled spring. Slammed into his legs, knocking him to the floor and wrapping my hands around his ankle before he could get back up. Hey! What are you doing, you bastard? The door's gonna close. Let go! Let go, goddammit! Let me go! Protag Energy has been the only one who can have a knockdown drag out last feat of strength while dying. Yeah, I mean, Snake got to do it last game, and he wasn't the protagonist. Although perhaps he should have been, because he was Daredevil. He lashed out with his free leg at my head, shoulders, and arms, but I held on, because I have strong enough himbo energy that I am apparently good enough to win this fight while heavily sedated. I ignored the pain, tightening my grip with every blow. Hey! What the hell is this shit? I thought he said, what the hell is this shirt? And I was like, I know, right? Why are you doing this? I kept my promise, didn't I? Yeah, so did I. As far as I recall, it didn't say anything about letting you escape. What? Junpei was just a weenie last game, it is true. Shit. Stop screwing around, arsehole. I have to get out of here. How long is this door taking to close? I'm not going to let my sacred mission get fucked up by some self-righteous idiot. Dio began to pull himself along with his elbows, bit by bit edging closer to the exit. He was headed straight through the door, but the gate was already beginning to close. With only a few feet to spare before it shut, he crawled across the threshold and beyond the door. And nobody helped? Why did nobody help?
Sigma! Stop! That's enough!
Well, then maybe that self-righteous idiot shouldn't have been on the mission. Oh, burn.
Please, you have to let go.
The door's gonna shut on you if you don't let go. That's the plan. Alright. See you later, dear. You're an idiot right up until the end, aren't you? Just hurry up and die. You senile old fuck. What? What? Isn't that an insult he usually uses on Tamiyaji? I'm confused. But I'm gonna live. What? There's some noises. CW for off-screen hand trauma, I guess. Apologies.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
Yeah, sorry, Saren. I will... I mean, I'll say if you're still listening to the stream, or... yeah. Or somebody else can ping you.
Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
The announcer's voice grated at the inside of my skull. I felt tired. So very, very tired. I felt my eyes flutter closed. And then nothing. And then something.
Sigma! Sigma!
Finally awake, huh? Where am I? I rubbed my eyes and slid my legs off the bed to stand up. Well, to be honest, it was an examination table, not a bed. Which meant... the infirmary, huh?
I guess they carried you out here after you passed out.
You guess? Well,
I wasn't there to see it. I was out just like you. But I was in the AB room.
why?
That bastard K. He punched me in the stomach. I can't believe him. He didn't want me voting, so...
Whoa. And after he knocked you out, he voted betray, which brought his BP up to 9.
Yes.
So, where is he now?
On the other side of the number 9 door. With Dio.
You told him to go, remember? Oh. Yeah.
Is your arm okay?
I
I heard what happened. Cybernetic Arms, huh? Can't say I'm surprised.
Why not?
I was starting to get a feeling something was up with you. And I jumped immediately from that feeling to he's probably got cybernetic arms.
I looked down at my left hand. Or rather, I looked down at where my left hand should have been. Instead, there was a stub wrapped in white gauze. I told myself I'd do anything to get the cure, even if it meant letting Dio betray me, but Had a feeling I might come to miss my hand. Oh, yeah. How's Quark? I'm right here. Whip pan. Quark. Man, I'm glad you're alright. Feeling better?
Yep. Thanks to you. You got the medicine from that jerk Dio, right? Luna gave it to me and now I'm better. Thanks. You're the best, Mr. Sigma. You saved my life.
It seemed they'd shared stories while I was asleep. Everyone knew now how I'd made a deal with Dio and about the journal we'd found with the Latin in it. Clover and Phi seemed to have done most of the talking.
It was completely the opposite of what we guessed. We're not infected, the rest of the world is. That means this place isn't a quarantine facility, it's more like a shelter.
Well, we don't know anything for sure yet. I thought the same thing you did, but then Sigma pointed out a couple of discrepancies. Yeah, Phi and I have already gone over it, but I explained what I'd noticed. One, if we were in a shelter for uninfected people, why had Quark been infected? Any place designed to keep a virus like that out would have a lot of safeguards to keep anything from getting in. Also, I think we've stopped any even discussion of hand trauma if anybody did want to ping Saren. Had the virus really bypassed all those measures? It didn't seem likely. 2, the timing of our abductions and the pandemic's outbreak was strange. It would make sense if we'd been rescued shortly after the disease had become widespread, but that wasn't what happened. First we'd been abducted, then the pandemic had broken out. 3, we didn't know why Zero had put us in the nonary game. If we were survivors he wanted to protect, then why try and kill us? If we were in a shelter, why wasn't it safe? Welcome back. Yes, sorry I didn't kind of warn for that as much as because I had assumed it was coming. But that sure was some noises.
Well, what about this? Maybe someone anticipated the pandemic. I don't know who. Probably Zero. Anyway, they grabbed us before the pandemic really started. Then they put us in the shelter. But then, after a while, he got bored, so he decided to have us play the game to kill time.
Who on earth would make people he rescued play a game where they could die just because he was bored?
Well, we don't actually know if there is poison in this bracelet.
What?
You're the only one who's gotten injected so far. And when you did, it was only Sopril.
What are you saying? That what I did at the number 9 door was all pointless?
No, that's not what I mean. That can't be it. I'm sure there's tubercularin in the bracelets. The Adams analysis confirmed it. But what if the Adam is lying? If you're going to do that, then we don't have anything to base any speculations on.
I mean, yes, but there's being able to form some kind of postulates, and then there's assuming everything that you're told is true in the murder game is true. Just saying.
You could say the newspaper article was fake, or that the Latin journal wasn't real.
Yes, you could say these things. Or the journal was real, but my translation was a lie. You made it up? No. My translation was accurate. I'm just making the point that once you start talking about the stuff being fabricated, it doesn't stop. I don't think Zero's doing this just to take the piss out of a lime. That's not a phrase, and it never has been.
What?
I was just trying to stress that I don't think Zero would do this to pass the time. Okay, is that all we're doing here? Just a comical mispronunciation gag? How do you make that mistake? However, I do think that Clover has half a point. Meaning that someone did anticipate this pandemic. That part seems reasonable.
Well, if the virus was spread on purpose, then I could see how that might make sense. Yeah.
Also, anticipating a pandemic, like, epidemiology is a thing. Most pandemics are predicted. By at least some people, it's just getting the world at large to listen.
Yeah. It's not like Noah put all the animals on the ark on his ark after the flood happened.
That's okay, sure, that's your angle.
He went around before the rain started falling to gather them all up. Right?
Are you saying that we were rescued because we're all that's left of humanity?
We were brought here because someone knew there would be a pandemic that would turn us into an endangered species. Does that mean we're supposed to repopulate the planet?
Don't worry about it, Luna, you're a robot. Repopulate. Huh. I looked around and did a quick inventory. Four women, an old man, and a kid. That meant I was the only young, fertile male. Oh my god, no, stop, immediately. Repopulation, eyebrows. That didn't sound so bad. If that was the case, maybe there wasn't any reason to escape. Maybe I could turn this whole murder warehouse into my own private sex warehouse. Stop, Sigma, immediately. If the newspaper and the journal were right, then the world outside was crawling with a deadly virus. Why would we go expose ourselves to that? This would be the safest, happiest place on Earth.
The game's over. There's no point to any of this now.
No, that's not true. The game might be over, but we still got a lot of unanswered questions. In fact, we've got even more questions.
So, are those answers going to open the number 9 door again? It's all over. Why we're stuck here doesn't mean shit. The 8 of us aren't leaving, ever. That's all that matters.
Hate.
You're including the old woman?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? What if the old lady's Zero Senior?
Yeah, you're right. We never even considered that.
But that would mean the person in charge of all of this was murdered by somebody. That doesn't make sense.
Maybe she wasn't murdered.
Huh?
Are you saying she was infected with Radical 6? And killed herself? But we didn't find a knife or any kind of weapon in the AB room with her.
Maybe she was killed somewhere else. And then someone carried her in there.
My god, Quark has taken the Master Detective reins. What? That's ridiculous. Well, maybe we should go take a look at her one more time. Maybe we missed something. Sure. Okay. We looked down at the body of the old woman. Fire was the first to move. Quietly and methodically, she began to examine the woman and her clothes. I just stood there. Even if she was dead, no, especially because she was dead, I just didn't feel right touching her. After a few silent minutes, Fire suddenly stopped. She pulled something from one of the old woman's sleeves and held it out toward me. Oh my god, would you look at that, we called it. A card. It looks like an ID card for this place. Since it's got her picture on it, I'd say it's a safe bet that the card is hers. Huh, looks like her name is... Karashki. Karashki. Ever heard it before? Nope. You? Nah. Anything on the back? Huh. Oh, is this also going to be a password for the director's computer? Huh. Something written here. It says Jumpy Doll. Well, actually it says pass equals Jumpy Doll, so I'm guessing Jumpy Doll is a password of some sort. What the hell does that mean? Beats me. Looks handwritten. She must have put it on here herself so she wouldn't forget it. Yeah, because again, data security. We were still looking the card over when I heard a commotion from the other part of the room.
Alice! What's wrong? Alice! Oh no!
What are you planning to do with that?
Fi and I turned around and gasped. Damn it. We ran to the other end of the room and skidded around the partition. Oh, we knocked her out, but we clearly didn't cure her this time. There stood Alice, her hand wrapped tightly around the scalpel. She didn't seem stable. Her eyes were flat and hollow. Her face was an emotionless mask. She was not well. The look on her face was all too familiar. Quark. She looked just like Quark had before he went insane. That meant...
Goodbye.
Her hand moved, lifting the scalpel up high in the air, then driving it down toward her heart. I don't need to do that scream. You got that perfectly well. And that's an ending, apparently. How is that Quark's ending? Like, every ending that's a character ending is like, you found out what the deal is with this person. Like, you found out that Kay has the same face as you, or you found out that Luna was a robot and then her face fell off, and wow, there's a lot of faces in this. Or you found out that Sigma had robot arms. You didn't find out dick about Quark in this end. All you got was a password, which is going to be very important, because I'm assuming that's the login you'll need for the number 0 bomb. And Sigma thinking about the possibility of a sex warehouse, hand trauma, and then Alice killed herself, end. I guess? Anyway, here's the flowchart. We're nearly done. That's everything except this one route on the right with all the bombs. But we've already run long today. I haven't even taken a break, and I think people just got in, so I should go and say hello to them. So I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone who's turned up. Thanks if you stayed to the end, means a lot. If you've been watching this, you know where to find me, but just in case, this is twitch.tv/Serasent. That's SERASENT, the House of Hubris. You'll see it on the title card in a minute. And I am streaming every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with more of this. I will... It's looking like, touch wood, we might finish this game next time, which is exciting. I'll tell you that for nothing. And then... I don't know if I'll roll straight into the first one, because that'll be episode 18 of that, and... Yikes. Yeah, I say that like I thought we were going to finish the first game, and then the ending for that turned out to be 1,000,000 years long. So, we might finish it next time, we might not. But, hey, hopefully we do, and then I might play a bit of something else instead, if there's time to pad, and I might take a little break before the next one, but we will play the last one, which is Zero Time Dilemma. Yeah. So that'll be good. Yeah, so I'm every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 2 PM British time, which is currently 10 AM Eastern, 7 Pacific. Because of time zones, I believe on Sunday it will go back to being 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And yeah, if you want to be notified when I am live, just in case time zones screw up anymore, then throw us a follow, because, you know, then you'll get a notification. And if you miss anything, you can check out the VODs on my Twitch for 8 weeks afterwards, or about 2 weeks after they've gone up. Everything goes live on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/users/rf191999, or click the link down there. Says VOD archive. And yeah, that's got VODs going all the way back to the start of my channel. Again, that updates every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so throw that as a subscribe if you want. It doesn't cost you anything, and it gets VODs delivered hot and fresh to your subscription feed. Otherwise, yeah, if you feel like me getting hugged by a robot while her face falls off, it somehow warrants your monetary support, you can, of course, subscribe or cheer on the Twitch, but you very much don't need to. Just, it's very, very much appreciated if you do, but just all you need to do really is turn up and have fun and hang out and be chill. And that's all really any of us need from each other. Otherwise, what else? If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, then best place to look is on Twitter at Waruce, that's WARUCE. And if you want to see me in other projects, check out twitch.tv/TheBards Playhouse, that's TheBardsplayhouse, every Saturday night at 6:30 PM Eastern, where I'm in an ongoing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Fall of London Chronicle. It's a lot of fun. We are nearing the end, and this week, touch wood, we should actually be back. We've had some unexpected hiatuses the last couple of weeks, but this week, we should be back. And then next week, I'm not going to be back, so I don't know if we're going to do an episode, so we shall see. But anyway, find out more about that on their channel, and go and follow them as well, because they're good people who play a lot of good games. But other than that, I think that's everything. So, I will say once again, thank you for everyone who's watching. Love you all. And I will see you again for possibly the end, really who can say, of Virtue's Last Reward on Saturday. Love you all. Bye-bye.